My name is Kewa, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about everything. And in today's video, we're actually going to be going over reasons why I would choose a birth center over again, if I had to do it again. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the video. I remember I was in college and I had a research paper to write, and it had to do with the mortality rate of Black mothers in America, Black mothers and their babies. And that was the first time I was introduced to the topic. And I thought, oh, what do you mean? Why? I had so many questions, and overall, it was just really sad because I feel like, and not just that, I feel like it's something we've seen over and over again, where a lot of these things are very preventable. So, why are we still, and I mean up until big 2026, dealing with this? Anyway, we're going to go over why I decided to make the decision to have my baby at a birth center when I found out that I was having her. Anyway, so fast forward to me finding out that I was having my baby. Obviously, after learning about the mortality rate of Black mothers in America, it made me want to know more, research more, and also to find alternatives. Are there ways that we can have access to better care, care that works for us more than having to deal with? I like to think about people that behave this way because this is not everybody's story. This is not everybody's story when they go to the hospital to birth their children. I like to think about people that do this as like just incompetent, wicked people, because you have to be wicked. And you know what? Talking about this actually brings out so many emotions in me, especially when I hear some of these stories. Because in my head, I just can't wrap my head around the fact that you hear someone say something. Like, for me, it's like someone saying, my head hurts. There is no harm in me saying, let me see why her head hurts. Versus like, oh, that's normal. It happens to everybody. But I'm not everybody. My body is different. How my body reacts to things is different. Or for me to say, oh, something is not right, I feel that something is not right. You don't know what you're talking about. Like it, I feel like it generally would take nothing for you to actually address that issue that that mother is bringing up, that the family members are bringing up in that moment. And I know that it's not exactly an easy time to be a healthcare provider or caretaker in the United States right now because they're all stretched out and everything. However, like, I think it's just human compassion. And at the end of the day, you're still there to take care of this person. And I know it's not that simple because some of it has to do with racial bias. And I just can't wrap my head around that because I feel like if you choose to be in the healthcare field in this day and age in big 2026, you know you're going to have Black patients. And if you know you cannot treat Black patients, stay at home. Anyways, this video was not supposed to go this route. So let me get back to the reasons why I chose a birth center. Now, I found out about home birth, and or rather I learned about home birth, and I thought, oh, this is cool. From the comfort of your home, you have a midwife come over, you have all the support that you need. If things go wrong, you can make it to the hospital. It was okay for me, but I felt like I needed a bit more. While looking for a bit more, I found out that about birth centers. So I learned about birth centers, and I found out that we had one in Atlanta. So it's called ABC, so it's the Atlanta Birth Center. Love them. Like, I have nothing but positive thoughts, full positive review for them. So I looked them up and I contacted them, and let me tell you, they will answer all your questions. They will respond to your emails. They will pick up your calls. They will answer your questions. They are so attentive. And let me just go ahead and go into the reasons why I felt very much at peace and comfortable with that decision. Okay. And I made my list here. All right. So basically, first things first, it focuses on Basically, just your birth and low intervention, which was another big thing for me. I don't like being strapped to things. And mind you, I've had surgery twice. I really don't like that feeling of, the IV and everything. And like pregnant women have the ones they put around them. I don't like, I want to be free to move around. And that was a big thing for me. So basically, you have freedom of movement while they're like my midwife still came in, checked on baby, checked on me, made sure that we were good. So she was doing that periodically, but I wasn't like connected to anything. Um, and mind you, I had to put the statistics here so that you guys can see this. So, statistics from the American Association of Birth Centers consistently show that birth centers have significantly lower rates of C-sections, which is nothing wrong with C-sections. Let me even take a moment to say this. And this is another hill that will die on. It doesn't matter how you have your baby as long as you and your baby are healthy. C-section, virginal birth, okay, via a surrogate, however you have your baby, as long as you guys are healthy and safe, none of that matters. So this is not one of those places where I feel like one method of having a baby is superior to the other. No. Now I'm going to continue. Okay, so rates are often 5 to 10%. Compared to the national average, which is over 30%. Okay. Hey, can I pronounce this? Episiotomies. So these are rarely performed. Instead, they focus on perineal support and techniques to prevent tearing. And let me tell you, I had zero tears. Zero tears. Because yes, I was guided through my delivery. And I did have a doula as well, which I do recommend. If you're able to get a doula, do get one. They're amazing. Mine was amazing. And in practicing and preparing for my birth, she did walk me through exercises, breathing, what to expect in that moment, and how we're going to try and prevent tearing. And then my midwife, after I had done the first push and my baby's head was out, practicing what my doula told me, because she said, when you feel that fire, I need you to push through that fire. Okay, like don't back, go through it. And I did, and pat myself on the back. It wasn't easy. Anyways, after that was done, my midwife just told me what she needed me to do. And I did. And zero tears. Okay? Clock it. Anyways, so birth centers also allow labor to start and progress on its own timeline. So rarely any like induction or any of that stuff. Like my baby did not come until like 41 weeks and a couple of days. And when I did go in, we did the Foley ball, and I believe she made me like the little cocktail. And let me tell you, about like 30 minutes to an hour after having that cocktail, that was all that was needed. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. For me, again, the biggest thing was that freedom movement and also being able to have a say in my care. Having to have a birth plan. They welcome your birth plan because I told them what my birth plan was. And this is simply what they told me. We want you to have your birth plan. However, everything doesn't always go according to how you think it will. So it might derail a bit, but we're going to respect it, which is big for me, which I think is what is also missing a lot with some of the stories that we hear in these situations where they do not respect the wishes of their patients. And that's also part of the reason why I got a doula. Because I wanted to have someone outside of myself and also outside of my child's father that be able to advocate for me if in the moment we're caught up with something. That was another reason why we had a doula, because even though I knew that they respected my wishes, I wanted to have a third party there that would also enforce that. Make sense? Okay. let's keep going. Let's see, home like, comfortable environment. Told you. I think I mentioned I like the fact that when you have like the home birth, you can be in the comfort of your home. The birth center also has that same design where all the rooms, and like I said, you can go watch that tour video. All the rooms just had this very homey feel. I was very comfortable. Like I loved the room. So it didn't feel very medical. I don't know. But I just wanted that comfort because it went along with my plan of just being in an environment that was peaceful. The lights were not bright. It was just dim. I was so relaxed. Um, I think what I like to describe my birth as was the most peaceful. It's like it just felt very spirit filled, if that makes sense. Even my friend was there and she was like, wow, this is so, it was beautiful. But yes, so there's no, you have like a private spacious room, queen size bed, that it was nice, a birthing tub, soft lighting that I told you. There's no separation of mother and baby, so we're in the same room, uninterrupted skin to skin, very family centered. Because after that, my mom, my dad, they were all there. The next point is the actual care itself. My visits, my prenatal visits, were never rushed. I could ask as many questions as I wanted to ask. And they welcome those questions. If you have any more questions, mind you, I'd be on TikTok and I'd see something and I'd be like, I saw this on TikTok, and she's like, and I just answered my questions without making it seem like I was asking silly questions. And I could tell you that I felt like there was a difference because before I eventually got moved over to the birth center, I did have my prenatals at a regular doctor's office. The feel is different. And I'm not trying to make it sound like I know that they're doing their best, but the feel was different. And, I felt comfortable asking all the questions that I wanted to ask. I was there for like as long. I mean, obviously they have other patients and they're on an appointment. They have like other patients and they have appointments and stuff. But I didn't feel rushed, essentially. And then also even the care after having my daughter. So you're allowed to go home within the first 12 to 24 hours. They monitor you, monitor baby, make sure she's good. We had to stay a little bit longer, so we didn't exactly live the first 12 hours because she had to be monitored a bit because she did poop in before coming out. So she had to be monitored a bit. But after going home, the next day you have a nurse that comes to check on you, and I believe you get 2 of those visits before your 6 weeks visit. So you just get sent home like, okay, bye bye, we'll see you in 6 weeks. Somebody comes to your home to check on you twice before your 6 weeks visit, and my 6 weeks visit was amazing. Okay, it was amazing. So you're getting that check in, and then also I had a doula who was also checking in on me. And I also think that's the other disconnect with birthing the babies, because like picture this, I had a baby, and after I just had her, in the next 24 hours I had to take her to her first doctor's appointment, and she still has appointments after that. So we're checking on baby and making sure that baby is fine. Why are we not checking on mom that birthed baby? Like baby had our own trauma coming into the world, yes, but imagine the changes that mom has been through and some things that you don't even know are happening. Okay, so some things could get missed in translation. I remember I was told to get a series of things. I even had like the heart monitor rate because I had to be monitoring my heart rate at home. I think I was supposed to do it for like, there was like a time interval, I can't remember clearly, but I was given tools to set me up for success and then to make sure I was good while also being checked on. Those things are so important. And mind you, we also had classes. Apart from me coming in for my visits, we had Zoom classes where all the moms would be in this 1 hour Zoom class. We'll ask all the questions. We went over nutrition, what we should be eating. Like there were so many resources. Like I had so much. I had so many resources at my disposal that it made me feel empowered throughout my journey. And like that is, I think that's key. I think that's key. Um, but let me keep going. Cost effectiveness. That is the other part. Why is it that people don't really think of like birth centers when it comes to having your kid, especially with the effectiveness of cost? So in my case, insurance covered it. And in most cases, most insurance, even Medicaid, would work at a birth center. Now, let's say you don't have insurance. ABC, which is Atlanta Birth Center, for example, which was one of the most amazing things about them when I read up on their website is they're actually non-profit. So they would work with you. They would work with like what you can they would work with you to give you affordable options to be able to birth your baby there. And at first my insurance was kind of trippy, and they told me, okay, this is how much it will cost out of pocket before my insurance got it together. Baby, it's only I don't want to put the like say the price because I feel like it might be different for other people. And that was going to include everything. Everything. I know that that's still like a lot of money for some people, but compared to how much you get billed in the hospital, come on, I'm not lying. Like the cost effectiveness is like an important thing, and they take most insurance plans. So in terms of that, that's also like a no-brainer. That's another reason why I would do that. Okay, so my next point here is strong postpartum support, which I already talked about. I already jumped. Okay. I already talked about how the postpartum care is just more robust than the standard hospital care. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The part that I wrote here. I mean, in the hospital they do this too, because I have been in attendance of multiple births at the hospital where they do get a lactation specialist to help you. That was also my experience at the birth center. My midwife, was very helpful in explaining how to get the baby to latch, giving me good tips. Same thing with my doula. So you do get that lactation support as well. Now those for me are like the key, like main reason why I would do a birth center all over again. Okay, it just felt it was a very good experience for me. Um, they were very compassionate, they were very sweet. Like I had my midwife and she had her assistant and I had my doula, and the whole time, because I know like at one point I projectile vomited everywhere and I felt so bad because I was like, oh my god, you guys have to clean all this up, I'm so sorry. And they were like, girl, calm down, just breathe, relax, we got this. Now there's some important things to consider when you know choosing a birth center or trying to, is they do have like an eligibility criteria. And I think I have some of them. I think you have to have like low risk pregnancy. Oh, I missed one more point, and I'll get to it after talking about this. So low risk pregnancy, because if you're high risk, obviously you need more medical support. So it has to be low risk because they don't want to put you and your child in danger. For the most part, you have to be carrying a single baby in a heads down position. I mean, you can't really tell that in the beginning, but a single baby. I don't believe they do a lot of twin births, so single babies. Um, and then no significant pre-existing condition like preeclampsia, diabetes, and stuff like that. Now, this also brings me to a point that I almost forgot, and which was one of the main reasons why I chose the birth center model, is that it's not do or die. You know how some people feel like you have to have the baby vaginally and without any help, and then if things are going like wrong, or if things are not progressing as they should, instead of getting help, they don't. That is not how the birth center operates. And this was one of the questions I asked. I already saw on their website, but I asked, and they explained to me that while I'm birthing, if at any case they feel like things are not going right, maybe labor is not progressing as it should be, maybe I look like I'm not doing okay, maybe my baby looks like they're not doing okay, then we get transferred to the hospital. They already had a partner hospital. The hospital was like 3 minutes from the birth center. So they call the hospital and let them know, hey, we're coming in with mom. They tell them everything that's going on. And the most important thing, just because they transferred you to the hospital doesn't mean they leave you alone. Your midwife stays with you while you're being while you're birthing at the hospital. So they don't just hand you over and be like, bye bye, sorry, babe. But they still make sure that you're well taken care of and everything goes well. Which for me is like, okay, come on. I'm doing this here. Everything is going great. Then maybe it doesn't go great. But you guys already have a plan to make sure I'm good. Do you understand? And yeah, was there any other consideration? I didn't want to do epidural, and that was another thing. They did not have epidurals there, so I wouldn't have been able to anyways if I decided to change my mind midway. So I was like even better. But they had like laughing gas, and then they had some of the things that they mentioned. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I would 100% recommend a birth center for birthing mothers. I have nothing but my experience was amazing. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about that model of birthing. I think more women and more women that look like me should definitely look into that. I saw a lot of mothers that looked like me there. My midwife, she was Nigerian like me. Actually, that was so cool because you don't get to choose your midwife. Um, but she was Nigerian, and I think her assistant was also, I feel like, East African. She did look East African. Um, but yeah, and that was so cool. Like, you don't understand. My room, it was a team of just black, glorious, gorgeous women. And after she left, the next midwife who was on shift wasn't a black woman, she was a white woman, but she was amazing still. She was still very sweet, still very kind, still very attentive. And so you get the gist. I think we all deserve that level of care in that moment when we're so vulnerable, when there's so much going on around. Your focus should be on being in the moment and doing what you have to do to safely deliver your baby. And you shouldn't be stressed by somebody who cannot competently do their job well to take care of you. I really, every time I think about it, every time I hear a news story, I'm like so upset. I like it makes my blood boil because we deserve so much more as people that bring life into this world. No matter your skin complexion, your affiliation, your preferences, I don't care. Okay. I think all women just deserve the best care. Anyways, that's my whole spiel. That's it for this video. If you guys have any questions about this, I'm not an expert or anything, but drop it in the comment section, or you just want to banter and talk. I definitely think that this is a topic that we should be having a lot of conversations around, and then maybe we can continue to build communities where we look out for each other and where we start having better stories to tell around birthing as Black women. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you in my next video.